And I think that's it. So
Stand a bit further in.
that wasn't me winning, by the way. This was basically my first idea, and I chose it straight away just because I thought it was simple yet effective. And my aim was pretty much just to achieve a realistic feel. It's basically my morning routine after I get out of bed and go make something to eat and then go toilet. I took all that I had listed and began like placing sort of the ideas in chronological order. So for example, have the kettle first rather than pour the kettle into the water, if that makes sense. Sorry. No, pour the kettle, pour the water from the kettle into the cup like first rather than, yeah. I also found that if I recorded it in order, it'd be really easy to find the clips when coming into the production stage. And just before recording the object, I would say what it is in the clip, and that's easily edited out, just so then I could find the clips easier. What equipment did I use? I decided to go with a Tascam DR100 as I'm more familiar with this interface compared to the DR40. I used a Rode shotgun mic to record because it's easier to record objects as it excels in picking up sound from in front of it rather than dispersing. I found that this was useful for directly pointing the mic at like something like the kettle. Thought it was easy to pick up the sound that way, and the toilet flushing. I used a pistol grip on the mic to enable a good firm grip, and I used Soundtrack Pro to edit it like everyone. Good things about what I thought about my project was that I found it was quite simple and fairly realistic. It pretty much done what it said on the tin, and it enabled the audience to easily make up their mind like what it was about, which was my intention in the first place. Thought it was easy to follow, and it showed my understanding on how to use equipment effectively, and it was just short of 3 minutes. The bad points is that I found that all my sounds were really low level recorded, instead of it being in between a -6 and a -12 like it should be. It was around the -30 level. In post-production I found that I missed a couple of small linking sounds, which I don't know if any of you really noticed, but hopefully not. I didn't develop a great understanding of spatial awareness. My kitchen in real life is really quite small, but I wanted to sort of make it seem bigger in the soundscape. I don't know if anyone found that. I didn't use any human sounds such as me breathing or coughing or etc, which probably would have made it sound more realistic. And one thing I did do, I forgot to record Atmos whilst going up the stairs and walking to the bathroom, so I just stole the kitchen one. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any comments about the recording, about or what Ross said?
Go and run that tomorrow.
Anything at all? Is there anything that grabs you at all about the recording?
I think they were just really crystal clear. Like there wasn't any like it wasn't it was just really well recorded. So
There wasn't any background noise. Like,
yeah,
nothing like
yeah.
Right, so this is what I've actually put down here, well done both of you for picking up on that. The sounds, although recorded very low, you have got a very low signal to noise ratio, even though they've been recorded low. So the quality has remained, even though you've had to boost them, which is great.
Yeah.
The one thing about you're saying about crystal clear, Scott, is something I've picked up on. You can have something which is too crystal clear.
Yeah.
In that, when you record with a shotgun mic, it's an isolatory mic, so it's a very narrow field of recording. So what happens is you get a very crystal clear recording, but then when you start to put them in sequence to tell a story, such as this, what you get then is a sequence of leapfrogging from one sound to another. What you could have benefited with is actually making them more contextual by thinking of the environment and wrapping the environment, choosing the environment in which they sit.
Yeah.
So therefore you've got a narrative of the environment itself. Because otherwise, if you have them too crystal clear, it's almost like, do you know what I was saying about incidental sound, when it's pushed, can actually start to warp your idea of reality.
Yeah.
And that's used for a creative effect. But when it's used in something which is telling a story verbatim, like this is, then you've got to try and embed the sounds a little bit distanced. Otherwise, you're zooming in all the time. You're zooming in on the stirring of the cup. You're zooming in of the bathroom sequence.
Yeah.
And you're zooming in on the footfalls on the stairs. Whereas normally, if you're looking something, depending on the shots, if it's got a medium, you've got an ECU, or you've got a long shot, you've got to think about how the sound is affected in accordance with that vision. So, to my visual, my mind's eye, I was actually zooming in right close up to get that soundscape that you were doing. So, if you wanted any distance, you've got to think about the environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Next
Yes.
up, please.